Hello students, let us continue chapter 2 Nutrition in Animals. The next topic we are going to discuss is the small intestine. The small intestine is highly coiled and is about 7.5 meters long. It receives secretions from the liver and the pancreas. Besides, its wall also secretes juices. After the digestion in the stomach is completed, we know that it goes into the small intestine. Now small intestine is a highly coiled, and the length of the small intestine is 7.5 meters. It receives digestive juices from the liver and pancreas. The inner lining of the small intestine also secretes digestive juices. The liver is a reddish brown gland situated in the upper part of the abdomen on the right side. It is the largest gland in the body. It secretes bile juice that is stored in a sac called the gallbladder. The bile plays an important role in the digestion of fats. We already know about the liver. The liver is the largest gland in the body and it secretes bile juice. And this bile juice is stored in a sac called the gallbladder. The main role of the bile is digestion of fats. The pancreas is a large cream-colored gland located just below the stomach. The pancreatic juice acts on carbohydrates and proteins and changes them into simpler forms. Just below the stomach, a large cream-colored gland called the pancreas is located and it secretes the digestive juice called pancreatic juice. Now this pancreatic juice is used in the digestion or breakdown of carbohydrates and proteins. So this pancreatic juice acts on the carbohydrates and proteins and changes them into simpler form, into simpler substances. The partly digested food now reaches the lower part of the small intestine, where the intestinal juice completes the digestion of all components of the food. The carbohydrates get broken into simple sugars such as glucose, fats into fatty acids and glycerol, and proteins into amino acids. Now the partly digested food reaches the lower part of the small intestine. Here there is intestinal juice which completes the digestion of all the components of food. Components of food such as carbohydrates, which are broken down into simple sugars such as glucose. Fats are broken down into fatty acids and glycerols. Proteins are broken down into amino acids in the small intestine. The next topic we are going to discuss is absorption in the small intestine. The digested food can now pass into the blood vessels in the wall of the intestine. This process is called absorption. The inner walls of the small intestine have thousands of finger-like outgrowths. These are called villi, singular villus. In the wall of the intestine, there are blood vessels. The digested food pass into the blood vessels and this process is called absorption. In the inner walls of the small intestine, there are villi, which are finger-like outgrowths. There are thousands of villi in the small intestine. The singular form of villi is villus. Can you guess what the role of villi could be in the intestine? The villi increase the surface area for absorption of the digested food. Each villus has a network of thin and small blood vessels close to its surface. The surface of the villi absorbs the digested food materials. The absorbed substances are transported via the blood vessels to different organs of the body where they are used to build complex substances such as the proteins required by the body. This is called assimilation. Now, the role of the villi is to increase the surface area for absorption of the digested food. and in this way the amount of absorption increases. There is a network of thin and small blood vessels close to the surface of each villus. The digested food gets into the blood vessels through the villi and its surface absorb the digested food materials. The absorbed substances are then transported to different organs of the body with the help of blood vessels, and then these substances are used to build complex substances such as proteins that are required by the body. This is called assimilation. That is, assimilation is the process by which organs of the body utilize the digested food and form complex substances which the body needs, such as proteins. In the cell, glucose breaks down with the help of oxygen into carbon dioxide and water, and energy is released. The food that remains undigested and unabsorbed then enters into the large intestine. Glucose breaks down into carbon dioxide and water with the help of oxygen, and then energy is released. The remaining food that is undigested and unabsorbed in the small intestine enters the large intestine. So let us now discuss about the large intestine. The large intestine is wider and shorter than small intestine. It is about 1.5 meter in length. Its function is to absorb water and some salts from the undigested food material. The remaining waste passes into the rectum and remains there as semi-solid feces. The fecal matter is removed through the anus from time to time. This is called digestion. Any food that is left undigested enters the large intestine. It is wider and shorter than the small intestine. It is about 1.5 meter long. The main function of the large intestine is to absorb water and salt from the undigested food. The rest of the waste undigested food passes into the rectum and they are stored as semi-solid feces. That means they are stored in the form of waste that you get rid of or throw out of your body when you excrete. This is then removed from the body through the anus, and this is called egestion. So, the process by which the waste and undigested food, which are called fecal matter, gets out of the body through the anus is called egestion. Let us now discuss about diarrhea. Sometime you may have experienced the need to pass watery stool frequently. This condition is known as diarrhea. It may be caused by an infection, food poisoning, or indigestion. It is very common in India, particularly among children. Under severe condition, it can be fatal. This is because of the excessive loss of water and salts from the body. Diarrhea should not be neglected. Even before a doctor is consulted, the patient should be given plenty of boiled and cooled water with a pinch of salt and sugar dissolved in it. This is called oral rehydration solution or ORS. Now, diarrhea is a condition in which watery stools frequently appears. Food poisoning, indigestion or infection are the causes of diarrhea. It is common among children, but it is a serious disease and in severe cases can lead to death. It can be fatal because of extensive loss of water and salt from the body. For patients suffering from diarrhea, ORS or oral rehydration solution is given, which is boiled and cooled water added with a pinch of salt and sugar dissolved in it.